doing?
We would be honored if you would join us.
What's going on, everyone? So I figured I would try a different angle today. We're going to be recording on my DSLR and then recording the screen over here, so I'm going to be looking around a lot, but let's just get to today's videos. So, the question of Rey's parents is answered in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Daisy Ridley confirms that we're going to know her lineage and her parents in Episode 9. So, I mean, I would hope so. That's, the conclusion of the entire Skywalker trilogy or saga, and we should know everything by the end of it, hopefully. So, there's no pleasing everyone in the Star Wars galaxy, and that includes the mystery of Rey's parents. Star Wars The Last Jedi had a scene between Rey and Kylo Ren suggesting Rey's parents were nobody of any significance, which we remember Kylo was like, they're junkers. They were just drunk junkers. They came from nowhere, and that's that. But there's more to the story, of course. Now, something I do want to mention is that in the Rise of Skywalker trailer, we see the same ship that Rey saw in her flashback vision when it was leaving her. And those were supposed to be her parents or whoever, her caretakers or whoever they were. So it looks like we're going to see that ship again, and maybe we're going to find out more about it. Some fans accepted the explanation, others expected that there was more to the story. Whatever you want to happen, we're confirmed to be getting more details of Rey's parents in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Daisy Ridley has been doing a lot of teasing for The Rise of Skywalker, and she was recently asked if there's more to the story of Rey's parents in 2019's Episode 9. Here's what she said. Director JJ Abrams did say the question is answered, so at the end of the film, you do know what the dealio is. Simple. We're gonna know everything. Now, of course, there are many different theories. Is she a Kenobi? Is she a clone from my last theory video? Is she a Skywalker? Who is she? Is she just some random person, kind of like the Broom Boy kid, who kind of makes everyone think that, the Force can be in just about anybody, and she's just one of those. She's just anybody. Now, a lot of other people are also saying that she's a reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker, kind of like how Anakin... Okay, so I gotta make something clear here. For a lot of the people out there that believe that Darth Plagueis created Anakin, he didn't actually. He sort of created him in a way, but he didn't actually create him. Darth Plagueis was using the midichlorians to create life, as we know, and he was using them to create the perfect dark entity. The Force, the universe, the galaxy, responded to Darth Plagueis by doing this, and basically said, if the Force had a voice, you can't do this. You're gonna do this? We're gonna create the counter. We're gonna create the counter of whatever you're doing. We're going to create Anakin Skywalker, the pure essence of the Force, a young boy created from midichlorians, and he's going to be the one that can either save you all or he can destroy you all. It just depends on, how his life unfolds. And I do blame the Jedi a lot on how Anakin's arc ended up. I think it could have been a lot better. I think it could have been avoided big time, especially if Qui-Gon were alive. But that's a different video for a different time. In fact, I may shoot that one. I might shoot that one just after this video because I'm feeling peppy. So, they say, you may recall that Star Wars The Force Awakens and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker director JJ Abrams said a few months ago, in reference to finding out who Rey's parents are. I will say that we knew going into this, that this movie, it had to be a satisfying conclusion, and we were well aware that that's one of the things that's sort of been out there. I don't want to say that what happens in Episode 8 didn't happen. We have honored that, but I will say that there's more to the story than you've seen. So he's basically saying, all right, we're not going to take what Rian Johnson did and throw it out the window. We're going to expand on that. We're going to add on that, and we're going to honor what he did, and we're going to just, play with it a bit more and open it up, because of course there's so much that can be said for, your parents are nobody, they're junkers, they're junkers, and they're just nothing, which I believe was a total fabrication. I just believe it was a lie. It was like, it was a way for him to get Rey to let go of everything, let the past die, and for her to just give up and be like, okay, you know what, I believe you, sure, why not. Now, in another video, I wanted to cover this in another video, but I'm just going to do it in this one because why not. This image of Kylo's helmet, check this out. So I put it in Photoshop because if you look in the background, you see something a little familiar. Boom, and I brightened it a little bit. That's a Knight of Ren, dude. Unless it's just like a dummy, like it's just a mask, or it's just, the suit standing. But that's a freaking Knight of Ren. So the Knights of Ren are putting his mask back together, I suppose, or they're watching it. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should just turn this into its own video. She also goes on to talk about this in an interview on Collider, or Collider posted about this. She said, "I just think they've done a great job with all the relationships, with the fun friendships, and with the sort of strange thing with Rey and Kylo. Also, we have a great fight. A great fight, and I was really happy that the Vanity Fair pictures did show a bit of it. It's a great fight. Like, I've become such a better fighter, and they made the lightsabers lighter, so it actually looks like we're swinging light and not like heavy swords." Ridley also spoke about the arduous process of creating that throne room scene from The Last Jedi, then revealed that for the big Episode 9 fight they shot in November in the pouring rain. The throne room fight was pretty cool, and also that was really hard because everything had to match up. There's like a dolly shot coming through as it ends with me, and I think I was fighting James at the time, who's the stuntman with the two swords. I was so tiring, we did like 25 takes because if one thing was off, we had to keep going. But I was really proud of that fight. This fight, it was November. I'm smiling because take a look at this little blooper from that scene. This is not her fault at all. This should have been someone like this, the CG director, or I don't know, somebody, the director or whoever. The dude with the two swords, James, the stuntman, he had two swords, and then all of a sudden, one of them disappears. So he could have stabbed Rey right there, you know, but he didn't. It's like biggest blooper. I don't know. No one noticed, of course, because the scene was fast-paced, you know, action-packed and everything. But that was something that, the boo-boo made a boo-boo. An oopsie. The fight. This fight, it was November. We had water being thrown at us, and I'm not going to complain about the cold. I'm just not going to do it. So it was like a real thing of stamina. It felt really epic, and it felt epic even at the time. One can only imagine what it's going to look like. So it would seem that they're fighting on the Millennium Falcon, and I believe before I said they're fighting on a piece of the Death Star. But I'm going to correct that, and I'm going to say it looks like the Millennium Falcon, man. Like, I mean, I just don't think it's a piece of the Death Star anymore. I think they're fighting on the Falcon somewhere, on the roof of it, parked on Yavin, near the Death Star wreckage, something like that. Now, as for talking about Colin Trevorrow's version of Episode 9, she doesn't really go into detail. She doesn't really say that she knows much, although she may or may not. She basically just, she went to dinner with someone, and they told her a little bit of what it was going to be, and it was going to be apparently a lot different, but that's pretty much all she says. So that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to address in this video. I feel like I addressed a bunch of different things. If you guys want to check out my theory video, if you guys want to check out my theory on Reddit, I just posted it. I just made a Reddit because what I want to do is I want to create a subreddit so you guys can like post whatever you want, like theories, memes, articles, things you want me to cover, things you want me to look at, and that could be a fun way to bring the community together even more. As for the animation, that's coming out very soon. I want you guys to support it when it does come out. And also, I am working together with the producers of the Jay Leno Tonight Show back in the day. Some of you might not even know who Jay Leno is, but hopefully you do. I'm name dropping, man. I'm name dropping. So the podcast is going to be something that is basically going to be all the videos from Star Wars Theory are going to be on there, plus exclusive stuff like fan fictions are coming back exclusively for the podcast, and of course on the channel as well too. But it's going to be a lot easier and quicker for me to get fan fictions and theories and videos out on the podcast because it's just like no pictures. It's just voice, music, and sound effects. But of course, we're going to be keeping up with the double uploads on the channel. This is just something else that I'm going to be doing and bringing to you guys for free. It's going to be on iTunes, Spotify, and every other platform for voice listening and podcast stuff too. So when that comes out, I'm going to make a video about it. And I need you guys to support it extremely heavily because I want to hit that #1 point on iTunes or, you know, Spotify or whatever. I think it's iTunes where you can hit the ranking, right? That would be a big win for everyone. Not just for me, not just for Star Wars Theory, but for everyone in the Star Wars community. And if you like my content, because then we would be #1 on iTunes. Star Wars fandom would basically be #1 on iTunes, and of course my name as well, because Star Wars Theory, that's what it is. So you guys have helped me build it towards. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. It's a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of different things that I went over. So we will know who her parents are. I believe, if you were to ask me, I don't know. I can just throw different theories out there and basically say that, you know, she's a Kenobi, she's a clone, she's a Skywalker, she's a reincarnation of Anakin, and it's basically just another way to get the galaxy wants her to, or someone to purge everything and just start it from new again, kind of like what Vader did, right? By killing all the Sith and the Jedi and everything. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. The good news is that we will know in episode 9, and it will be the conclusion that we have all been searching for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. As always, thank you for supporting and subscribing, everything you guys do. And the channel is just going to keep going up and up and up and up. I love you all. Thank you. Couldn't be doing it without you. So I will see you in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.